Welcome. This is Cop Talk Uncuffed with your host, Jax and Ritz. Join us as we discuss current police issues and work on building solid community relationships. We will have news, interviews, answer questions, and more. You don't have to have a badge to listen. We're here for everyone. Now, here are your hosts.
Welcome to Cop Talk Uncuffed. I'm Jax.
And I will be going by the name Ritz. Welcome to the show.
So, Ritz, what's on the agenda for tonight?
This is the intro episode. We're just kind of winging this. We really have nothing written down. We're just going with the flow, man.
I hear you. What do you think our listeners are most eager to experience with us?
Oh, I think they want to probably know a little bit about us. However, I'm not going to get too in depth. We're obviously going by different names, but maybe a little bit of our background, perhaps. They know who they're talking to or listening to, I should say.
Yep.
I know a lot of you guys tuning in probably already know who we are, but if you don't, then we're going to go ahead and explain ourselves a little bit here. Go ahead first, man. Tell them about you.
Well, I'll start. I guess I've been in law enforcement for 20 years. I've been serving in the local police department full-time for 15 of those years. 5 years of that was part-time and reserve. Not a lot of people know about reserve time, put it in free time.
Correct.
At a job.
It's a thing of the past.
Yes. But started out that way. Became a canine handler. I did that for 5 years. I had a Belgian Malinois, dual-purpose narcotics dog. I'm a certified FTO, field training officer, which you are too. We went to the same
Probably wear it on my
school.
sleeve.
Yes, sir. CIT, critical incident training.
Also that as well.
Yes. I was a part-time sergeant at a local police department.
Okay.
But now I'm just a flunky patrolman.
All right. Let's see. For me, I've been in law enforcement for 10 years now. I've been full-time for 9 of those 10 years. FTO, like you said.
Did you start out as a reserve?
I did. I was hired by an agency, a local agency, as a reserve, obviously. A thing of the past, as we just said.
Yes.
Put an extensive amount of free time in. And as you were saying with that is people don't understand that a lot of these agencies, when you get hired on as a police officer, you're working for free.
Yeah.
You're doing everything that everyone else is, but you're not getting paid for it. And I don't think a lot of people truly understand that concept because it doesn't exist, in 2020 now. Who could really afford to work for free? But back then, a lot of us, you included me. We put in a lot of free time and we learned the job. We didn't get paid. We had to, earn our way. Started out a lot of free time.
Can you think, not to interrupt you, but can you think of another job, another occupation that has people work for free?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, you get some internships and things of that nature, but, when you're doing this as a police officer, you are essentially putting your life on the line for free as a reserve. That's a lot different than working an internship somewhere. I mean, you're out on the road with everybody else, and you're not getting paid for it. You are out there facing the same dangers, the same consequences, and it's all a learning experience. You don't get signed off until you're ready, and that's however long that takes.
Right.
So. That's kind of a thing of the past now, but back then that was definitely one of the ways you got into the profession for sure.
Would you take that back?
Absolutely not. I had incredible experiences in my reserve programs. Saw a lot of things, did a lot of things. It was baptism by fire, basically.
I totally agree.
So eventually, you work your way to part-time, and then eventually you work your way to full-time. But, it's a lot of free time, and it's dangerous. That's just the way it was, and that's just the way it is.
So I remember, for me, I'm sure it was the same for you. You would come out on a Friday or Saturday afternoon, because those were the busy times, and
Absolutely.
That's when you learn.
Yes.
And I can't remember how many times I would come out on a Friday afternoon and stay over and work
Absolutely.
Friday midnight.
Yes.
Come back Saturday afternoon, work Saturday midnight.
Yep.
All for free, while my friends are all out going to the bar.
Oh, yeah.
You
It was challenging. I mean, it was tough. I lost a lot of my early 20s of having fun and going out to, putting my time in, and it got me to where I'm at. So, looking back, it was.
Do you think that
I had to do it.
Yeah, right. Do you think that spending that time, your own time, shows a character?
Absolutely.
Shows
Yeah.
that to an employer that you're willing to come out and dedicate your own time.
It's going to weed out a lot of the people that don't belong. The people that want to last in this profession are going to put the time in. They're going to come out. They're going to work. They're going to go above and beyond. You're not going to get paid, and you're going to do whatever you have to do to do the job, to learn it. Prime example. I had to, I happened to work for a local agency here that was, extremely busy. And within the first week of my, time on the job for free, I'm still learning the basics, which is nothing that the police academy teaches you. It's, on the job training. That's where you learn the job. And, a local pharmacy got robbed, and I was dropped off on a side street and chasing people through backyards. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what was going on. But that's how you learn the job. I mean, it was scary, but it was the real deal. They had guns. They robbed the pharmacy at gunpoint, and I'm a week on the job, and I'm chasing people through backyards. I don't know what's going to happen next. The academy doesn't teach you that. You have to go out there and you have to learn it. You have to do it, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is put the time in. And if people don't get compensated for that, a lot of times they leave. They don't want to learn the job.
Right.
I think now in this day and age, a lot of people when time when it gets tough, people bounce. So yeah, I definitely the reserve time, putting your time in it's extremely important. So
I agree with everything you said there, and now people aren't willing to give up their own time for things, and they want to be compensated for everything that they do. When did you know you wanted to become a police officer? Is it all?
That's a
always
question.
been something that you wanted to do?
No, that's actually a question that a lot of people ask me. A lot of people assume when you ask that question that it's for the thrill of the job and fast cars and guns and things like that. And that wasn't the case for me at all. That's not why I became a cop. Basically to explain why I became a police officer, and this is kind of a little deep here. Back in 12/11/04 was going to be the date. 12/11/04 is when I knew I wanted to become a police officer. I was getting ready to go to church with my grandpa, and we went every Saturday. That was our thing. Went to Saturday Mass at St. Nick's, and he was getting ready to go to church, and he went downstairs to get ready, and he didn't come up. At that point, I knew something was wrong. I went down to check on him, and he passed away of a heart attack. It was my freshman year of high school.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was terrible. My grandfather was my best friend. Helped raise me. Played a big role in my life. And I was a freshman in high school. Found him passed away. I mean, it destroyed me. I did what I could to save him. Couldn't, obviously. I didn't know what to do. He was old at that time, and by that time he was gone. And I ran upstairs. We called 911, and police, fire, EMS, came to the scene, obviously. And a black police officer, took me aside, and he basically talked to me for over an hour about the situation and the ordeal and how to get through it and how to get over it. And that moment changed my life. At that moment, I knew that I wanted to be that person for someone in that same situation when I got older. And I wanted to be in that role. And so, that was kind of like the first time I looked up to someone, in that career field, and I knew that was going to be my calling in life. So that's why I got into it. That was my moment. When I needed someone the most, I found a police officer. I needed someone in that moment, and that's who was there for me. It was, the biggest impression on my life, especially up at that point. So, that's why I became a police officer. And, I tell everybody that story that asks me. But yeah, that is why I got into the profession, man. So, what about you?
That's first of all, I just want to say that's a hell of a story.
Yeah, it's deep, man.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the audience didn't really expect to hear something like that on the first episode.
That's some deep stuff for episode 1.
Yeah. Hey, for me, it was always from a young age. I not necessarily to be a police officer, but to serve.
Absolutely, yeah.
To serve the country. I always had, from a young age, a profound interest in our country and the ideals that this was the best country on the face of the earth, and I always wanted to serve it, whether that be military or police. Mm-hmm. And then a few years later, I met some of the local police officers, and they were very knowledgeable, very professional looking. Their boots were always shined up nice.
Oh, yeah.
and their brass was always shined up and clean cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was a cool look, and I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a cop.
I like it. I respect it.
Just trying to help. I know it's a cliche. Everybody talks about wanting to help people, but I do.
It's part of the job.
I do feel good being able to. It's not every day that you're able to help somebody, but
No
you try to help somebody every day that you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess to explain a little further, I went to an extremely diverse high school, and I played football, and it was a lot of ethnicities and backgrounds. And so I think at a young age I kind of learned, French. I learned how to interact with other races and ethnicities and things of that nature. So, I had several years of that in high school before I even got into doing this in law enforcement. So I kind of understood where a lot of people came from, where they how they grew up, and how to properly interact with people in a respectful manner, because we all came from different backgrounds, different
right.
upbringings and things of that nature. So that definitely helped mold me into the kind of person I am, the kind of officer I am, and I think that also plays a role in doing this. You got to have exposure. You got to be able to interact with people, man. You got to know how to. You can't be robotic out there.
Right.
You can't. No one wants to have a robot. You got to be personable. You got to talk to people. You got to talk to people. You got to talk to people on the street like you do people you work with. I mean, you got to build that.
Correct.
Building off that last statement I made. So I went to school, an extremely diverse high school, and then my first police department was an extremely diverse police department in terms of the citizens. It was everyone, different ethnicities, different nationalities, different races, and so it was like high school all over again, where it was right back to interacting with everybody in high school. So I kind of had that ability to get in there and engage people. I knew how to talk to people, and you got to learn how to do that if you want to succeed and survive in this job. You can't talk like like I said, you can't talk like a robot. You can't go up there and you got to be personable. That's the bottom line, and you have to treat someone with the respect that you want to be treated with.
Do you think, just as a disclaimer, though, we don't want to touch upon too much of this stuff right now, but as a disclaimer for the audience, should we just come right out and flat out and say, due to recent events, we do not support what happened in Minneapolis as far as the
Absolutely.
George
100%.
Floyd killing.
Yes. We are in complete agreement with everyone in the country that was absolutely 100% wrong. There's no justifying that. We are totally against it. We are totally against any situation that takes place, even closely or even remotely to what happened there. Absolutely. We are going to be as unbiased as possible in this podcast. We are not going to defend every police officer just because they're police officers. I mean, when it's bad, it's bad. I mean,
there's people that need defending.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's also people that
I've known you for a long time, and I would say that you're an extremely fair individual in your assessment of all situations. And I think we're on the same page with mostly everything that comes before us. And I think we call things out as they come. And when things are right, they're right. When they're wrong, they're wrong.
If we can sit down and go case by case on a situation and point out the facts of a case are different than feelings.
Facts over feelings always.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that feelings don't matter when it comes to stuff like that. It's
Correct.
It's facts.
Correct.
What you can prove.
And always remember that an emotional argument doesn't negate a factual argument.
Correct.
Factual arguments always and will always supersede any emotional argument that you have because they're facts for a reason. So, an emotional argument may be convincing, but it is not factual. So, we are going to, break down both of those and, try to be as unbiased as possible. We want to bring people on this show, different community leaders, people that want to talk about different issues. This is a podcast for the community. We want to unite law enforcement in the community as much as we possibly can. We're not here to bash the community. We're not here to bash law enforcement. We're not here to promote law enforcement. We are here to be as unbiased as possible and give you, our thoughts and opinions on different subjects, topics. Obviously, present you with facts. I know you've seen a lot in your 20-year career. I've seen a lot in my 10-year career. That's 30 years worth of law enforcement experience combined. So that's a lot of information. That's a lot of hands-on training, knowledge, experience. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, with our experience, there's also things that we don't know about, and which I would like to get certain guests to come give
Absolutely.
their expertise,
Yeah.
and we have our ideas about how we want the show to go, but we also would like some suggestions from the audience. What
Yes.
you would like us to talk about, questions that you may have that you've never been able to ask a cop, or things that you'd like to know. We will do our best to answer those questions, and if we don't know, we will find somebody who does know it.
Correct. And we don't know everything. Like you said, we are learning every day, and if we don't know something, we will find the answer to it. But the day you stop learning is the day that you might as well quit. Turn your stuff in and be done, because you never stop learning. You're always learning every single day. I'm learning every single day. You're learning every single day. There's things that you forget. You don't do it often. You forget. You have to go back and relearn it, things of that nature. So if you think you know everything about the job, you don't. But we have quite a bit of knowledge to talk on certain topics and discuss things on certain topics. And we want to reach out to the community. Social media. It's 2020, man. Social media is everything. So the best way to reach out to viewers and the community is social media. So we're gonna put this out there on social media. We essentially we want to make a difference. We want to be voices of reason, voices of change, and we want the community and obviously the law enforcement to unite. So this is our way of doing that. This is our way of uniting the two together, and this is how we chose to do it. We're starting this podcast, and hopefully if it changes one life out there, then we've done our job.
That's it.
That's it. If we reach out to one person out there, we could change one life, then our work here is done. That one person can go out and change 100 lives. That one person can go out and change 500 lives. So if we could reach one person here that this affects, then this podcast has served its purpose. So yeah, I don't know how far we're in right now, but this is this is episode 1. This is
Well, how much farther do you want to go?
well, I mean, this is kind of an intro. We're like I said, we're filling this out. We're winging this whole thing. We have lots of material here. I mean, he has note cards. We have articles. We have statistics. We have everything you could possibly imagine. But we're gonna have to break that down in different episodes. This is all brand new ground. This is brand new waters. So we're gonna break this down episode by episode. But this is kind of just an intro. We have so much information to share with you guys, and it's gonna be good. I think you're gonna enjoy it. So this is it. Here we are. Any suggestions you guys have? Constructive criticism. I mean, we give it to us. That was part of our training when we initially started, was constructive criticism. That was part of the reserve program. That was part of free time. Come to us, tell us, hey, we want this. We don't like this. What could we do to improve? And we will work on it, and we will get better week by week. We want to try to get as many episodes out as possible. We want to have quality over quantity. So if we got to do less episodes with more quality, then by all means we will do that. We're not going to put things out there just to have a large number of podcasts and videos out there. We want to have quality, and so this is our first episode. So this is basically just we're going to start here. We're going to build from here. We're gonna jump into the next episode, and we're gonna have all kinds of different things for you. But right now this is where we're at. So social media, we got a Facebook page, we got an Instagram. That's what we're working with right now. We're gonna have a YouTube channel. We're gonna film these videos. We're actually gonna work in a podcast studio here shortly. Right now we're working out of a kitchen. So you gotta start somewhere, man.
We're in the bunker. What are you talking about?
You're right. So yeah, that's what's going on. I don't know, anything else?
No, I think that's it. If you guys think of anything you want us to cover that we haven't already kind of touched upon, let us know.
All right, sounds good, man.
Yeah, look us up on Facebook, Instagram. What else we got? You're the social media.
That's it right now. We're gonna build on that, but I think you made a Facebook page. Yeah. I know our Instagram is gonna be. It's gonna be just Cop Talk Uncuffed. Look that up. It's gonna be on Instagram. I just made the page. It's brand new. Give us some follows.
Email. We got an email, coptalkuncuffed@yahoo.com.
There you go.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for riding with Cop Talk Uncuffed. If you like the show, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Also subscribe and like our videos on YouTube. Let's partner up again next time. For now, we're out of service.